up you guys, you just tuned in for another PopCrank video, and as promised, today I will be doing the first episode of my Game of the Week series. Today I've got something special for you guys. It's a game called Dear Esther. First of all, I was about to do Mass Effect 3, but then I decided for the first episode and just wanted to show you guys what the series will be about. So it's going to be something special. It's not like a game you've probably played before or you'd buy just when you go to the store. So let's just hop into the first chapter and let's see what this game is actually all about. So from what I know about this, it's a game. It's a special game. It's not, well, it's difficult to describe. It is a adventure-like game. It is it's more an art style.
I've lost track of how long I've been here and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I've always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
So what I know about this game is that it has no interaction, no action at all. It's just an amazing looking game with a deep feel and strong storyline. And as you go on your way, automatic flashlight. So as you move on your way, the story will continue as from what you explore and discover. So I've got inspired to do this video because I saw a couple of minutes of Wings of Redemption's let's play on this. I haven't watched too much because I wanted to experience it myself, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. It's so quiet. I'm actually, at the same time, I'm very excited and kind of tense. I don't know.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
So apparently I wasn't able to continue that way, so let's take the beach way. Well, there's one thing sure, this hasn't always been an abandoned island. There are fishing cages here. Somebody has been here, that's for sure. I don't really know how the story is actually about. Are you the guy that is telling the story, or is someone that's after him? There's a lot of details that should be kept an eye for.
When you were born, your mother told me, a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
So what's going through my mind right now is that this guy that is telling the story, this man has been here before, and you're a person that comes after him.
The point of this landscape. It almost appears so well placed as to be artificial. I find myself easily slipping into the delusional state of ascribing purpose, deliberate motive to everything here. Was this island formed during the moment of impact? When we were torn loose from our moorings, and the seatbelts cut motorway lanes into our chests and shoulders, did it first break surface then?
Another possibility is that your character is that man, and you were following his footsteps, continuing his story, which is very likely.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boat, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this: to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Notice the light. There is life and electricity somewhere, so I guess I should go that way. I think you're just knowing when you're going the right way when the voice chat pops up, the guy telling the story. This is absolutely amazing.
We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
So, there was an infection on this island, which has probably killed the inhabitants, and now you are here. I see a boat over there. I think I should be heading that way. Well, it's not like I can go anywhere else right now.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason, or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Guess I'll explore that cave first. Wolverhampton,
This seer, this
Great
distant
Britain,
historian
England.
of bones and old bread, where did he vanish to? Why? Asked the farmers. Why? Asked Jacobson. Why bother with your visions at all, if you're just to throw your arms up at the cliff and let it close in behind you and seal you into the belly of the island, a museum shut to all but the most devoted?
look at these signs, these marks. Look at that. I'm pretty sure that is chemistry. Wow, imagine yourself if it's like real life. What would you do if you discovered such a thing? One thing's for sure, somebody has been here and it has not been too long ago. You just have to keep an eye open for details. This hasn't rotten or anything, may very likely help you understand the story. Now I want to go over to that boat, or no, there was a lighthouse. I noticed a lighthouse over there. Why is my flashlight out? Guess I'll be going for a swim right here. Wow, it's dark underwater. Okay, I'll keep my head up. Whoa, what was that? What was that? Look at that. Wow, that was awkward. I'll just keep going. We're going to the lighthouse. Or, well, it used to be one, seems quite abandoned. Oh, I'm going under. Oh shit, what is that?
Come back.
Okay, this really creeped me out. Holy shit. What was that, honestly? Well, seems like I'm not allowed to go that way. I came from there, so I'll be continuing my way through here. Oh, seriously, that creeped me out. That was freaky. This game, the music, everything. It's so exciting. I'm tensed. I have goosebumps. Unbelievable, really. Such a beautiful game. And although it's not too much of a game since there's no action at all. It's just, this is art. This is honestly art. This is a movie and you are the main character. You are playing this movie. This is beautiful, honestly.
He still maintains he wasn't drunk, but tired. I can't make the judgment or the distinction anymore. I was drunk when I landed here, and tired too. I walked up the cliff path in near darkness and camped in the bay where the trawler lies beached. It was only at dawn that I saw the bothy and decided to make my temporary lodgings there. I was expecting just the aerial and a transmitter stashed in a weatherproof box somewhere on the mount. It had an air of uneasy permanence to it. Like all the other buildings here, erosion seems to have evaded it completely.
This reminds me of the Stonehenge. This has so much to do with England. The accent, Wolverhampton. This is very likely to be a British guy telling the story. What is this? Bible? I guess it's a Bible. It may have some religious stuff that are hidden in what is being said in this game. Let's move on. The story will tell itself if we just continue. I think I'm going the right way through here. Look at these details. These developers of this game are just geniuses. This is beautiful, honestly. I can say this over 100 times. This is nothing I've ever experienced before. A game that plays like a movie. It's a whole new experience for me. This is going down. Alright, I think it's loading a new chapter. This game, I think, is divided in 4 chapters or something. So, not entirely sure.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my ordnance survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off...
Really understand what this story is all about. I'm thinking right now that you're playing that character. Look, there's the tower I meant, electricity tower. And I spotted a house over there. Oh, there's the music
again. I've begun my
again.
ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there. I'm drawn by the aerial and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there.
This music is so soothing for the situation you're in right now. It's a very lonely game. Let me just take a look if I can get there. At the sea. Look at that. Truly amazing. Look at the water hitting the rocks over there. Wow, it's so real. Feels as if I'm really here. Oh, I'm stuck. Let's get closer to that house, see what we can find over there.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. he was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
So it's about shepherds that used to
My
live
heart
here,
is
probably.
landfill. These false dawns waking into the still never light. I sweat for you in the small hours and wrap my blankets into a mass. I have always heard the waves break on these lost shores, always the gulls forgotten. I can lift this bottle to my ear, and all there ever is for me is this Hebridean music.
Is that just me, or was that a different voice? What's this? It's like Russian or something. Let's just continue. Not sure what I'm supposed to find in this game. Look at that. This is something very, very special indeed. I'm having quite some difficulties to get the hang on the story. It is a deep story indeed. It's not that easy to comprehend.
The editor comments that at this point, Donnelly was going insane as syphilis tore through his system like a drunk driver. He's not to be trusted. Many of his claims are unsubstantiated, and although he does paint a colourful picture, much of what he says may have been derived directly from his fever. But I've been here, and I know, as Donnelly did, that this place is always half imagined. Even the rocks and caves will shimmer and blur with the right eyes.
Alright, look at that beach. There's a ship on it, or at least a shipwreck. Or again, what is left of it.
The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. He'd struggled halfway down the cliff path, perhaps looking for some lost goat, or perhaps in a delirium, and expired, curled into a claw right under the winter moon. Even the animals shunned his corpse. The mainlanders thought to bring it home unlucky. Donnelly claims they dragged it to the caves to thaw out and rot, but he is proving an unreliable witness.
So I'm just going to play till the next chapter, and then I'll leave it up to you. Just leave some feedback whether you want to see me play this more. If you liked it, if you don't like games like this.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
This is creepy and truly beautiful at the same time. So should I go up there or enter this hole? Whoops. Alright, seems like this is the next chapter. I'm going to quit right here. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as I did. Again, leave some feedback, and I'm going to continue myself, and I might upload it, maybe not, you'll see. So, again, hope you've enjoyed it. This was PopCrank, signing out. So now I finished this first episode of Game of the Week, I'd like to have another word. I finished playing Dear Esther, and I must say, the ending and overall the parts after what you've just seen is extraordinary. It is truly amazing. Safe to say one of the most beautiful games I've ever played, if not the most beautiful. The story behind it is truly beautiful, and I doubt I will continue playing it. Well, I've already finished, but I doubt I'll upload that, because I suggest you play it for yourself, just experience this story yourself, and I can promise you, you will enjoy it. It is a very, very good game if you are into this more art style of games. So again, thank you. As you've just seen on the screenshot, please do that. And I thank you once more for watching.